This is Eric McCoy again. Thank you for watching. I wanted to start this out by just letting everybody know that what I'm doing and why I'm doing this, and it's really about education. I wanted to kind of put myself out there, let people know what's going on in the industry, educate people, maybe talk a little bit about how we can possibly change some of the things going on, and I will be also doing interviews with different individuals that have even more insight, talk about different areas to get the information out there that we really do need to get out there. People need to know what's going on, people need to learn what's going on, and we need to have people that are willing to stand up and fight. We need more advocates. I'm going to talk a little bit about, and today I kind of wanted to sort of throw a shout out to some people that I've had an opportunity to talk to. Since I've been doing these videos, I've had some amazing individuals that have sort of come forward. They've reached out to me, and I've spoken to a lot of them on the phone, and it's been fantastic. And I've learned a lot of different stories about different people and what they're basically fighting for and what they're trying to do. The sad part about this is there's no clear-cut answer on how to fix all this stuff. I have a lot of ideas. I'm going to talk a little bit about a guy that also has a lot of ideas. And I'm actually looking to bring him in next week and do an interview with him. I think you'll really enjoy it. The guy's a really intelligent guy, and he's got a lot of great ideas. Um, so I wanted to again throw a shout out to a couple people. The people that I want to talk today about are advocates, and they are sort of out there. They're fighting their specific cause. And I think we're all sitting in the same avenue, even though their experience is specific to a certain area. I think we're all fighting for the same thing, and it has to do with this drug epidemic in this country, and the treatment that people are getting, and the facilities that are directly killing people that are vulnerable, and they take advantage of, and it's all about money. And I've said this in a couple of videos, and that's really what I'm basically fighting, getting the information out and educating people. I wanted to talk first of all about Jody Barber. I wanted to throw this out to her, and I want to thank you, Jody, for everything that you do. The unfortunate part, and I want everybody to think about this a little bit, the unfortunate part is for most advocates, something really bad, something negative, and something painful happens in their life for them to step out and become an advocate. There's reasons for that, and it's typically because they're not aware or educated about these things, and then something real painful has to happen, and then they go, whoa, let's do something. Now I need to fight this, right? Because they didn't know. And so that's another purpose. I want to throw this information out. I want to educate people, and I want to have people, more advocates that want to come forward and say, hey, let's fight this thing. The first person I do want to talk about is Jody Barber. And Jody, again, thank you for everything that you do. She had a situation in 2010 where her son passed away of a drug overdose. His name was Jared, and he was 19 years old. Her story and her fight has a lot to do with doctors and the maybe unethical or even illegal practices of doctors and how they directly kill people. I know we could probably say indirectly they didn't put a gun to their head, but honestly I say they directly kill people. And I know that's kind of a powerful statement. Story with Jody, she took her son to a doctor. And as a result of, he was smoking weed, had a lot of anxiety. So she took him to a doctor to basically say, hey, what can we do with him? Is there any treatments we can do? Maybe we don't want him to smoke weed, And so she went to a specific doctor out in Laguna Niguel. I'll tell you a little bit about something interesting that I did after speaking to her. And the doctor that he met with, prescribed him different medications. 2010, he died of a drug overdose. It was a result of Opana, clonazepam, and Seroquel, another narcotic pain reliever. and he ended up passing away on the family couch. And from what I had kind of understand was everybody thought he was asleep, but unfortunately had passed away. So I talked to her last week, and she had actually given me the doctor's name on who this individual was. And I have an upcoming video that I'm going to be putting out. And it was sort of an undercover investigative work that I did, where I actually went and met with the doctor to see how easy it was for me to get medications, what I could get, and just by symptoms. Kids know how to do this. You can basically, they talk to friends and, oh, I have anxiety, or I can't focus, or I can't do this. And so, you define that stuff to the doctor, and the doctor will give you pills. That's the quick fix today, is pills. And I told in the video that I'll be putting out there is that, I didn't request any medications. I actually disputed the fact that I wanted medications. And it was interesting what the doctor said. He goes, basically, men don't want to feel weak. And so we don't want to take medications. And so he sort of pushed this on me. And I hope you kind of watch that video that I'm going to be putting out. It is kind of interesting. And I do explain in the thing that I did not mention the doctor's name because, the sad part is there's nothing illegal that he did, except for one thing. And actually, I do point that out in the video. There's something very strange that he did. And, but in general, there's nothing illegal that he did. He's a family doctor that's practicing psychiatry. And if you look up family medicine, psychiatry is a component. Unfortunately, I don't think that they study it well enough. Psychiatrists, generally, that's their specific focus of medicine, is mental health. And so the doctor that I did meet with did mental health practice, and again, he's just a family doctor. So it's something to throw out there. And so anyways, I hope you guys watch that. Another individual I want to mention is Wendy McIntyre. And Wendy has kind of a similar story, different area. Her son was 23, and he passed away in 2007 of drug overdose, and he was living at a sober living facility. And I even saw this, in a report. It was called Safe House. It wasn't a safe house. He was basically living in a shed in the backyard, and the clients, that they had brought into the facility basically gave him drugs, and he ended up overdosing and unfortunately passed away. And one of her big fights that she's looking at is fighting the control or lack of control on sober living facilities. It's a very unfortunate thing in this country that sober living facilities, they open up. We started seeing this in Florida, where these rehab facilities that were drug dealers that were opening up these facilities. They opened up sober living facilities. They opened up residential facilities. They would bring people in. They would treat them. They would get them high just so they could put them back in their facility to make more money. And that's something that we saw a lot in Florida. I'm sure we're starting to see that a lot here in California too. And so it really has to do with the lack of control in sober living facilities. And I was talking to her yesterday on the phone, and if any type of facility holds medications, dispenses medications, or in the state of California, you cannot directly dispense. You hand them the bottle, they dispense it themselves, but is that some kind of medical practice? And that's kind of the question that's thrown out there. Is that I think that if there's any kind of facility that has any control of somebody's medications, there's some form of medical practice that's happening there. And there's no control over this. And the scary thing about this, and the sad thing, is for us to change this, we have to actually change federal laws, and not only just state laws, because there's nothing illegal about an individual opening up a house and renting beds to people. And that's basically what a sober living facility is defined as. In the state of California, It basically says that it's a family. And the sad part, and what we basically see, is that, we've had sober living facilities that will house 8, 10, 15, 20 people, in a house, which, and then have no control. And there's people that are running the house that maybe have 10 days sober, 30 days sober, maybe 40 days sober, I don't know, that aren't probably the most stable people themselves. And so that's kind of Wendy's big fight. Wendy is really looking at how we can change that. I want to throw a big shout out to you, Wendy. Thank you for everything that you do. I really appreciate it. And she sent me. I talked to her yesterday on the phone, and she also sent me a link to a subcommittee hearing that had taken place a week ago yesterday at the house, and it was regarding all of this stuff that we're basically talking about, the fraud that's going on in this industry, and the drug epidemic and the sober living scenario, things of that nature. It's a 2-hour thing. I've not watched the entire thing. I was sort of skimming through it, and it was really interesting. I've I've got to this place where I don't really trust anybody in this industry, as unfortunately I've had friends of mine that I would speak to and talk to, and I would bring some of this stuff up, and I'd never hear from them again. I can probably say that I'm going to become a very hated individual in this industry, and I don't care, and I'm okay with that. My ethics and my morals mean more to me than anything else. I'm not going to be a part of killing people, which again is what rehab facilities are doing. They are killing people. And so, Wendy, I wanted to thank you, again, on everything that you're doing. I really hope to have an opportunity to meet with you sometime, also with you, Jody, and we can hopefully work together and fight on this. I wanted to mention another guy. His name's David Skonesny. I hope I pronounced that right, David. I did have an opportunity to meet with you. I think you have some great ideas. He has a Facebook page that I encourage everybody to look at, and it's called It's Time for Ethics in Addiction Treatment. And I found this about maybe a month and a half ago, and I started reading over the stuff, and I was kind of posting different things and learning a lot from David and other people that have put stuff on there, and there's a lot of great information on there. I wanted to put this out here. He had put a post up, and I think it was yesterday or maybe Monday, I'm not really sure. He had put a post up, and it talked a little bit about the concept of borrowed equity. Right, and in this industry that we're talking about, he talks a little bit about, if, and kind of throws out questions that if a facility is holding some form of event and a sponsor of the event is an unethical or a questionable facility, is the program that's throwing the event going to become questionable themselves? And I think honestly, yes. Like I said in the beginning, it's just something to think about. Like I said, I don't really trust anybody in this industry anymore. And I wanted to, and I hope people that watch this, right, I hope you guys can really throw this out to as many people as possible, because I want to throw out an idea here, okay? One of the things that I'm hoping to do is to be able to gather as much information as I can to help shut down as many facilities as we possibly can. Fraud is a difficult thing to prove, right? And the problem with fraud is that you have to prove that they willingly and knowingly committed fraud. It's not an easy task, okay? And so I hope to be able to speak to a lot of people out there, and I would love anybody and everybody that wants to come forward to talk to me. I think I brought this up in another video. If you are a client in a facility that has any kind of documented proof that there was any kind of insurance fraud that was committed, please reach out to me. If there were things that happened in the facility that were dangerous, that were unethical, right, I would like you to reach out to me. Please. We need to gather as much information as we can, okay? And I think I said this before in the video too, that if you're an individual that maybe got paid by a referrer or got paid by somebody, please come forward and talk to me, right? I'm not a police officer. You're not going to be in trouble, and there's really nothing anybody can do to you, about getting paid. And I know there are people out there that are using rehabs as a job, that you jump from rehab to rehab, you get paid and stuff like that. And I'm sure none of you guys are going to reach out to me because that's something that you're probably going to continue doing or have been doing, and then whatever, but I know there are going to be people out there that, may have been promised a certain amount of money. They didn't get that amount of money, and maybe are angry or something of that nature. Please reach out to me. I would love to just gather. I want to get statistics. See, and that's another thing that I'm trying to do, is just gather as much information as I can. Please reach out to me. And I'm going to put my email address. My email address is Eric, ERIC.info. No, sorry, ERIC, right, dot just a step away at gmail.com. Eric.justastepaway@gmail.com. Please reach out to me. I think this is extremely important, and we need to save lives, and we need to stop killing people. I'm going to do a video soon that, again, I want to talk about myself a little bit. I'm going to explain my story, tell you guys where I came from, so people have a little bit of information on that, and what I'm doing today. So please pay attention to that, and I think that could be, maybe a little bit informative for people to understand too, that I am not a police officer and I could never become a police officer. All right, and so I do want to share that. And again, I want to thank everybody that's out there that is fighting for this, all the advocates out there that are fighting for this. Again, we don't have to wait for people to die to become an advocate. We can do it now. We can do something now. And so thank you for watching. Please reach out to me. Again, I want to get as much information as I can, as much data as I can. I want to work with Jody. I want to work with Wendy. I want to work with David in terms of what we're trying to do. I'm going to have a conversation tomorrow, and I'm not going to throw his name out here right now, but I'm going to have a phone conversation set up tomorrow with a advocate that is dedicated to ending, this drug crisis in the United States. And so I'm really excited to have an opportunity to talk to him. I'm hoping to kind of join up with his cause. He's really kind of been thrown out there in fighting this thing and speaking up and being on the news, and he's talked to, really fighting this drug problem in this country, and what we do. I'm also looking to create possibly a show, and I kind of wanted to say this out there that I have a lot of ideas in terms of something that I want to present in terms of either doing a documentary or doing some kind of show that is another way for us to be able to get this information out there. And so please pay attention to this stuff. Please watch this. I hope we can get this spread out as far as we can. Again, there's a lot of great advocates out there. Wendy McIntyre, Jody Barber, take a look at all their stuff and everything that they're doing. And then David too, check out his Facebook page. It's Time for Ethics and Addiction Treatment. He's another guy that's really fighting this. And so again, thank everybody. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.